session. Well, joining me now to discuss this further is Marilyn Oma Anona-Usobunandu, and she's a media and social professional, founder, Oma Living Show Limited. Good evening, Oma, and welcome to the show.
Good evening. Amazing.
It's so
Nice
good
to be on this
see
show
you.
with you tonight.
So we finally get you here. Nice to speak with you.
Same here. I'm so delighted to be on air with you tonight.
It's great. You're welcome. So, of course,
Thank you.
let's start. Bullying in schools is actually not new. A lot of people were bullied from way back. And maybe if I think through, I may have been bullied as well. But of course, we coined it in as their seniors just being mean. But in the light of recent developments and advocacies, it's become very pertinent to speak about it. So please give us your perspective on it.
Okay, thank you again for having me. Okay, and this is a topic that I love very much. Okay, if you followed me on social media, you will find out that I'm always talking about bullying, cyberbullying, and everything in between, including rumors, slander, envy, and trolling. They are all elements of bullying. Okay, and it is something I find very discomforting. It is something I find very disturbing. It is something, I think the gravity is so enormous, all right? And sometimes people seem to want to trivialize issues like this. Let me start by defining what bullying is, okay? So I'd like to define bullying as, intentional harm doing, hurting, harassment, okay, that is often repeated. And the target is always someone who is vulnerable, as the case may be. Knowing that vulnerability can differ, the definition per time may differ, all right? And it is not always about physical violence. It is more about impact. That way it is all encompassing. That's to say that you don't necessarily have to beat me, hit me to be a bully. It's not all about hitting me or beating me, okay? When you harass me, when you constantly mock me, when your aim is to put me down, to embarrass me, to taunt me, to jeer me, okay? To single out that thing that makes me different from the others. For example, I'm a left-handed person, okay? Growing up, I've always been different in so many ways. I'm left-handed, right? And then I used to have gray hairs in school. And then in primary school, nursery school, I had gray hairs, okay? So I was telling my husband the other day, considering when I started seeing gray hairs on my body, on my hair, on my eyelashes, I thought by now I would be all gray. But for some reasons, I think that paused and, but I have always been different, yeah? So it put me, and of course, I won't forget to mention that I had this rapid growth. I was this same height in primary school. So you can imagine that. So I have always been somehow different from my peers. At some point, I was being called agric-fowl, baby elephant, and I'm left-handed. But the only thing that saved me in when it comes to being left-handed is that I've always been a bright, student, pupil. I've always been one who other people, by virtue of my academic brilliance, look up to. But I also know people who are left-handed, who are not so lucky. Maybe they were not so bright. So people would often mock them, regardless of being bright, even as okay, let me just say, after my NYSC, I won't forget the incident. I was somewhere in Oka trying to board a bus, to come back to Abuja. And then, you know how it is, you want to pause for a while and then eat a meal before the bus takes off. Right. And then some hoodlum comes to me and takes my spoon away from me. And, you must use your right hand. Do you understand? So it's something that I have experienced, and coming on to being an adult where we all feel that now I have money, I have fame, nobody is going to ever come at me. People will be scared to do certain things to me. But you find out that bullying goes beyond the academic settings of our primary school, secondary school. Like what I'm trying to explain and establish is that these bullies in secondary school, primary school, are now on the internet as well. So if we don't try to curb this situation, this nagging issue, as we can already see what's going on with Lead British School. I'm glad you cited it. Although I didn't follow the entire story, but I got bits and pieces of it. Bullying is gross. Bullying is it's bad, and it has to be stopped. I mean, it has a lot of adverse. Every implication of bullying is adverse. There is no advantage whatsoever to bullying. So yeah, that's my intro about bullying.
That's absolutely correct. Well, there's another conversation ongoing about the reaction of the parent or the relative whose daughter was bullied. Now, some people have outright